Hey there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking at a 2007 Porsche 911. This is the 997 generation. This one has just over 60,000 kilometers. It was bought from auction to be exported over to Canada, 61,199, and that is kilometers, not miles. This is a 3.8 liter flat 6 engine, and this one has a 6-speed manual transmission. The overall condition of the car is excellent. There are only a few minor blemishes on the interior and exterior, so we'll take a look at the vehicle in this video, and then we're going to be exporting that. And we're sending this one from the lot, the port here in Yokohama, before it gets exported, because we made a boo-boo and accidentally sent this one to the port instead of to our lot. Otherwise this video would have been in our lot as well. Okay, so I'll switch the engine off here because we don't need to keep that running. The engine runs and idles fine, whether it's hot or cold. And I'll come back to the interior in just a sec. Note the Porsche has the ignition on the left side of the steering wheel, whether you're left-hand drive or right-hand drive. It's a Porsche thing. I've heard some people say that dates back to the days of Le Mans, when Porsche used to have the run to the car start, where you would start on the other side of the track. This is when safety wasn't really a thing, and the key on the left side would be easier to turn. I've also heard that that's wrong, so who knows. Anyways, let's take a look at this. This is the auction inspection sheet, and it details any of the issues with the car, sales points, and that sort of thing. So this is a 2007 Porsche 911 Carrera S Sports Chrono package, which means you get a little clock on the dashboard and maybe some other things. I really don't know that well. 3.8 liter engine, auction rated 4.5, interior B, alloy wheels, power steering, power windows, airbag, and leather. 61,199 kilometers at the time of auction. Still had current registration in Japan, which is always a little bit of a plus. It means it was driven up until it was sold, and it isn't like a car that was sitting on a dealer lot for a while. Okay, the sales points here: Sports Chrono package, 6-speed manual, Navi, total collection box, power seat, seat heater, brown leather seats. It's actually full brown leather interior, which I haven't seen before. It's probably something that you could order special from Porsche to, make your car stand out amongst the other Porsche 911s. Spare key, aftermarket aero and rear wing. It's actually kind of a GT3 look on the front and the rear. Original alloy wheels, xenon headlights, full history from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022. Comes with owner's manual, warranty papers, and spare key, and a relay key. I don't know what a relay key is, but maybe it's something that you can use to make a copy if you take it to Porsche. Not too sure. Okay. Seat and steering wheel wear and various scratches and dents. Windshield rock chip. Front bumper A2 misaligned and scuff. And then A1, U1, A1, A1, U1, A1, A1. All of those are really, really tiny. I would say that this A1 here maybe would be an A2 in my opinion. So now that we've looked that over, let's look at the real car. And yes, it's dirty right now, but once this thing is clean, it is going to sparkle. The condition of the paint in person is fantastic. There's really only one area on the body that is a problem. The front bumper, well, it's aftermarket, so you can go back to an original one if you want to keep the value of the car, or you can keep the cool looks of the aftermarket front bumper, which, to be honest, I quite like. The rear spoiler with the front bumper, it doesn't look exactly like you're trying to emulate a GT3 or trick people into believing you have a GT3, but it does look more aggressive and gives the car a little bit more personality than your standard 997. Okay, the 997 generation is easy to tell because it has the round headlights, whereas the 996 that came right before this had the kind of Boxster-like loop. Okay, now this front bumper has the vent up at the top here. That is a something that you would normally see on the GT3 generation. You can see it's quite aggressive, has no mesh to protect your oil coolers in here, and so they are just naked. They appear to be in pretty good condition, all things considered, but put some mesh in there if you want to really protect them. And then the front bumper itself is actually in good condition. It's just this lip here that has the A2 on it, so on both corners, and it is really low to the ground. We might actually have to remove it for shipping. It doesn't look like it's too hard to remove. A little bit of damage there. And then here's the misaligned section. You can see it's not really clipped in there properly. And same thing goes over here. And it's like a flexible piece meant to kind of bend out of the way if it needs to. It doesn't look like a cheap part. It does look like a fairly expensive front bumper piece. And yeah, I quite like it. I think it's a nice looking addition to the car. Okay, now there's not really a ton else wrong with it. There are some scratches on the back here, which I'll point out. Right here. And this is what I was saying, that's probably more like an A2. Okay, so see the nice rear spoiler with integrated intakes here. Very cool looking. I thought the guy was talking to me. Okay. And then tires. Tires are from 2016/2017. They are still a Pirelli P0, which I believe is the original tire. They are DOT, which is important in Canada. You need that. They have the date 2016 here. It's a 295 30 ZR19, so plenty of rubber on the back. Front, of course, is narrower, but still a 235 on the front is still a lot of tire, especially how light the car is. Okay, odometer has been verified. I guess you guys don't get to see this very often, but when they come to the port here as an optional extra, you can get this company Jevic to verify the odometer. They do a full history check and come see the car to see if there's any tampering done to it, and this one is past that. Okay, going into the car. So here's where some of the other defects come in, and it's mostly finish that has peeled off. So I'll show you that in a sec. Door cards are brown. I quite like them. I didn't even notice it at first because it was in the shade. I do like this chocolate color. Now we have some scratched section here. You can see the finish is scratched off. And this might be a little bit tricky to repair, actually, because if it's black, black is kind of black. I know it's not true 100% of the time, but brown can be a lot harder to get the right shade if you're trying to repaint that. Okay, and that brown goes everywhere. It's on the seats, it's on the steering wheel, it's on the dashboard, leather wrap dashboard, console, glove box. Okay, have a look at the seats. Okay, and you see a little bit of like loose fabric here. Now that's not the case on the passenger seat. You can see it's nice and tight. Okay, you have a little bit of cracking in the seat down here, less than average I would say. And you got a little bit of that finish scuffed off here as well. Comes with a brown carpet, brown floor mats. I would like to know how much extra you would have to pay to get something like this. Okay, steering wheel has basically no wear on it. Man, these cars feel great to steer. They're so great to drive. I drove a GT3 not that long ago for the first time, and I had absolutely fallen in love with it. And it was a 997 generation, just like this. Some scratches there. Unfortunately, the interior of these don't handle humidity that well. And here in Japan, it is ultra humid. Your standard Porsche 5 gauges, dating back to I don't know how long ago. Okay, that doesn't actually flicker, it's just the video refresh rate matching the one on the car. No missing pixels here, which is good. This, I don't know why you can do this, but you can set the direction that you want your little timer to be. So I guess if your passenger is timing you, I don't know. Okay, aftermarket Navi unit here. All stitching is good, the leather hasn't shrunken or anything, like the Z3 is due. All the buttons still have their full face on them. Sometimes those can scratch off. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, so headliner, also brown. Look at that. I'm totally down with this. Totally. Back seats, same thing. These are kind of pretend seats. Actually, I've never sat in a back seat of a 911. I know they're kind of just pretend seats. Let's give it a try. So you can't fully stick your feet underneath this seat, which is kind of a no-no. That's one of the ways that you can make yourself sit into a back seat. Oh, okay, that's difficult. So not really doable. Even kids would struggle. That seat isn't in the full back position either. It's in my favorite position, which is fairly far back, but not fully back. And now how am I going to get my shoes out of here? Oh, this is difficult. Let's just try to climb out. Okay. Yeah, people say the 911 is a kind of an everyday supercar. You can drive it as a daily. Not if you need the back seat. So that's basically good for just a bag or something. Speaking of which, the cargo compartment in the front is all good. It's nice and clean. Doesn't have any issues with it. And so we don't really have much else to say. That's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a nice day.